Hello everyone and welcome in. This will be your special eclipse reading where I'll be pulling cards individually for each zodiac sign to see what it is that you need to be focusing on during this eclipse and kind of what changes are going to be coming in for you. So I'm going to go by each individual sign, and I'll start with Aries because we're in Aries right now, and then at the very end I'll pull some cards for the collective in general, so make sure you check that part out as well. So let's go ahead and get started here and see what all individual messages want to come through for each of the zodiac signs. All right, so like I said, we will start with Aries. I'm going to spread them out like this, and then I'll also pull some individual, like a couple individual moon oracle cards as well and see what wants to come through. So for Aries, let's see. First up, we have Page of Swords energy. Then we have the High Priestess. I'll pick two more. Then we have Three of Cups in reverse. And we have the Tower in reverse. So Aries, there is something that you are desperately trying to keep in place that really needs to be let go. And so that's what we have with our Tower in reverse. So this is resisting these kind of destined and fated changes that are trying to come in your life. There's a lesson that's supposed to be learned, but this fear of the future, fear of the unknown is keeping you looping through unproductive cycles for you. It's a matter of needing to be able to step back, take a look, see what the lesson is, and incorporate that and move forward. You also have the Three of Cups in reverse, which is that sense of feeling like this lonely, reclusive type of energy, and it's because you're not in alignment with what it is that you're supposed to be doing. So right now, especially for Aries, you have got an awful lot of heightened energy. Not only do we have Mercury retrograde right now in your sign, but we also have Venus had moved into Aries on the 5th, so that was just a couple days ago, and that brought a lot of focus on relationships, but there's just a lot of energy in your sign right now. So for you, definitely stop resisting the natural flow of things. And the push here is the High Priestess. So really connect with that sense of inner wisdom and connecting with that higher intuition. This is also your divine feminine energy. So this could be a matter of needing to let something fall so that you can connect with your divine feminine if you're a twin flame, or this is that energy within you, your own nurturing, loving energy, like your heart chakra energy. So stop having that cut off. That needs to be able to flow more freely. And then with your Page of Swords, it's that sense of you're kind of planning to make some changes. It's like you're wanting to move towards that, but there's still this fear that's keeping you off on your own and keeping you trying to support this tower that really just needs to come down. So let's take a look at, we'll pull a couple of moon cards for you as well. Put these little towers out of the way. So look at the bigger picture, and the energy is gaining momentum. So this look at the bigger picture is don't let yourself get caught in the current 3D immediate moment, and the energy is gaining momentum. So this energy of planning and connecting in with your inner wisdom, your higher consciousness, that divine feminine energy is gaining momentum for you. And, you just really need to be able to move through that. So in terms of like what changes are coming in for you, this would be the change, is let it happen, let it flow, and just kind of allow yourself to move forward into the next phase of life, even if it feels scary. So what you should be focusing on is connecting to your higher consciousness, to your inner wisdom, so that you can see the big picture. You can see what is the lesson that you're supposed to be learning, what is it that you're supposed to be letting go of, what tower needs to happen. So that was for Aries. Next, we'll look at Taurus. We have the Four of Cups energy, which that has an energy of kind of like apathy and gloom. You have the Magician in reverse, and so that's, you know, feeling like your talents are being overlooked. You have the Three of Pentacles, and then you also have, oh, I pulled two of them. Page of Pentacles in reverse, Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So this is a very 3D. There's a lot of, since it's a lot of pentacles. So you have your Three of Pentacles in the upright, Page of Pentacles in the reverse, Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. So your Ace of Pentacles in reverse is feeling like there's opportunities that have been missed. And, you know, there were some opportunities, but like you feel like you've kind of been overlooked a little bit there. And then with our Page of Pentacles in reverse, this is going to be this laziness and this immaturity, and there's kind of this lack of direction. So energetically, what you should be focusing on is your Three of Pentacles. It's that collaboration. It's that kind of creativity and some sort of a new, fresh start. So that's what you should be focusing on. But instead, it seems like there's this energy of this apathy and gloom and just kind of laziness. Like you're just tired. You're burned out. So let's pull one more card. What is it that you need to release? You need to release the Ace of Wands, which is this creativity. So, and that's a new beginning. So you need to release what's keeping you stuck in apathy so that you can have that new beginning. Let's take a look at some moon cards for you and see what other messages are coming through here for, we had a jumper, two jumpers. The end of a tough cycle approaches and expect powerful change. So this is new moon eclipse. So expect a powerful change to be coming up with the eclipse. And then this one was the end of a rough cycle approaches. So this sense of apathy, and that you've missed some opportunities and that you're just being overlooked, that it screams of the fact that your current situation is out of alignment with you, and that there needs to be some sort of a, you know, release that cycle, release that tough cycle so that you can have a new beginning that's full of like creativity and collaboration, and so that you can be on a better new path. So that is what is coming in for Taurus. Let's take a look. Next up is Gemini. So Gemini, we have the Emperor. That's your first card. The Devil. We have the Queen of Cups in reverse. And lastly, then we have the Six of Pentacles. So so with the Emperor, that is like sitting in that powerful masculine energy, but then that's also, you know, we also have the Devil energy. So there's a little bit of that sense of you're being pulled off your path. You're being pulled off your path by certain energies. With the Queen of Cups in reverse, that's this kind of neediness, this fragility, and I'll say that's more of like a wounded feminine energy. So it's that loving but like scared type of energy. Then we also have our Six of Pentacles, which is this generous energy, like you're wanting to help, but as you kind of piece all those together, there is this sense of you keep looping through these cycles because you're not sitting enough in your Emperor energy. You're sitting too much in this I'll call it wounded feminine energy of like this fragility and neediness and like weakness type of energy, when what you need to be doing is sitting in your Emperor energy. And you can still be generous and giving and caring sitting in your Emperor energy, but make sure that you're not being drawn into a place of weakness. So let's pull one more card. So what change is coming in for you? The King of Wands. So your King of Wands energy is going to be this like sense of meeting challenges and this like loyal leadership type of energy that wants to come in. So it could be somebody new stepping into your life, or somebody who's already in your life stepping into more of that King of Wands energy, more of that Emperor energy to kind of change up some of the dynamics there. All right. And your 2 cards, we have your hard work is paying off and your commitment is being tested. So we've talked about this on the channel before, that when you're trying to manifest something new and something big, the universe usually will test you before they give you what it is that you're asking for. So, for example, if you were trying to manifest, say $100,000, before that, you might be given some smaller amount by the universe to see what you're going to do with it. Are you going to go, blow it all on some quick little something or other, or are you going to actually take that small amount and manage it and use it towards what you're telling the universe you want to have all of this greater amount for? So your commitment is being tested from that perspective. Like, you're saying you want this, but do you really want it? Are you willing to do what you need to do to be able to sit in that energy and get that blessing and use it to your best good? So, it's also a matter of your commitment to yourself is being tested. Are you really making decisions that are good for you? If you're saying that you've done the healing work, have you really done the healing work, or are you just telling yourself that you have? But your hard work is paying off. So it looks like you're rising up to that challenge and saying, yes, I have been working on the healing. I am moving my life forward in a better direction. Okay, so next up we have Cancer. And here we have the 10 of Pentacles. So some rewards and blessings are coming in. We have our 6 of Cups. So that's that kind of nostalgia. Ooh, we have our 10 of Wands. So some 10 energy here going on for Cancer. And then we have Judgment, which is 20. So you have 10, 10 in there. So what it looks like that's happening for Cancer is that you're getting towards the end of some of your cycles. So the Judgment card, and I always say this, think about it if you're taking a class. This is the final exam. Did you learn what you're supposed to learn? Are you passing the class, or are you going to have to take it again? Have you incorporated it? It's not just enough to acknowledge what is the lesson. You have to incorporate that lesson in and allow the changes based on that lesson to flow through you. So the example I give is it's not enough to say, oh, I had a heart attack because of, say, a poor diet, poor physical fitness. It's not just enough to say, oh, that's why it happened. You actually have to change those behaviors in order to bring about a positive change and learn that lesson. You can't just say, oh, well, I know what I should be doing and I'm choosing not to do it. So with both of these cards, we have the 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Wands. That's also getting to the end of cycles. So 10 is like the wrapping up of it. So there is a sense of you have learned some of those. 10 of Wands is that energy of burnout, though. So you're kind of frustrated, you're exhausted, but at the same time, you do have some of that stability. So you've gotten to the point of like reaping the benefits on the 3D side. But you have a lot of different energy here because you have your Wands, your Pentacles, and your Cups. So this is going to be that energy of nostalgia and tradition and kind of maybe looking back, in a, I don't know, whimsy is not really the right word, but you have had that sense of, look at how far I've come. So from a nostalgia perspective, like, look at how far I've come. And you're realizing that as you're getting ready to take this final exam, you realize that you've gone through these lessons, you've learned these lessons. So let's pull a couple of cards here. Don't let your past hold you back. South Node. So South Node is about what is the baggage that we're bringing in here from either past lives or earlier in this life. Like, what is the baggage that is keeping us from being our highest self? And then we have prosperity lies ahead. New moon in Taurus. So new moon is coming up. Excuse me. So new moon in Taurus is coming up because Taurus season is going to be end of April. I believe it starts April 20th. So prosperity lies ahead for you. And that goes with this Ten of Pentacles energy. And, you know, but remember, learn from your past, but don't let it hold you back. So learn those lessons, incorporate them, and then move forward with it. So in terms of one more card, what should you focus on during the eclipse? So the Fool in reverse. Don't let yourself be held back. So the Fool in reverse is about being unready or feeling unready or doubting yourself about moving forward. So what you should be focusing on is, why do you have that doubt? How do you overcome that doubt? And really try to connect with spirit in terms of what should you be focusing on. All right, so that was for Cancer. Then we have Aquarius. So let's see what wants to come through for Aquarius. We have the Queen of Wands. I felt like it was two cards, but it's not. So you have the Queen of Wands. You've got the World. You've got your Two of Cups in reverse. And then you have your Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Oh my gosh, this dog has such a sad little look on his face. Here, I'll turn it this way so you can see it. But he just has such a sad little look on his face. So, so this card has to do with overspending and having some financial struggles. So you're struggling with your resources. So remember, Pentacles can either be money, they can be time, they can be energy. So there's some struggle there. And you are also dealing with this feeling of kind of solitude. So your Two of Cups in reverse is going to be this sense of division or rejection. But then on the other side of things, you have your Queen of Wands and the World card. So your Queen of Wands is going to be that confidence, that courage to move forward. And then the World is that victory that, you know, you've learned this lesson, you've moved forward. So, so a little bit of kind of some mixed energy there for you. So let's see, what is it that you should be focusing on? We'll pull one more card, and then after Aquarius, we'll shuffle. What should you be focusing on? This is your Nine of Cups in reverse. So you've had 2 9 cards in reverse. So your Nine of Cups in reverse is feeling unfulfilled or disappointment. So focus on, why are you left feeling that way? Because that's going to be part of your lesson, is why are you left feeling disappointed? Is it because you had unrealistic expectations? Is it because you were looking outside of yourself for some sense of fulfillment or happiness? And so that's going to be directly tied here to the World card, is can you identify what has caused this so that you can address it and work on that inner wounding? And then what changes are coming in for you? Then we have our Seven of Cups in reverse, and that is going to be, you're going to have a lot of different options, but also don't let that overwhelm you. Don't let yourself get consumed by, oh my gosh, there's too many options, I just can't make a choice. So really connect with spirit to see where you should be going, so that you can be a little bit more focused when these different options come up. Because if you know where you want to go, it's easier to say, wait a second, this option, I'm not even going to consider it because it doesn't take me closer to where I want to go. And Moon cards, you are good enough, and you and your loved ones are safe. So if there's feelings of doubt and insecurities, wondering, am I enough? Do I have enough? Am I good enough? Those are some of the lessons in terms of internalizing it. Why is it that you feel disappointed? And so this can kind of go with this card, that you're feeling disappointed, but why? Is it because you think that you're not good enough? And so that would be an issue to meditate on, to work with. And then you and your loved ones are safe. New moon in Cancer. So this is that reminder of, if you feel like you're trapped because, oh, but if I make this change in my life, if I stand up for myself in this way, if I go this direction, then, you know, what impact does it have on my loved ones? They'll be safe. If you're true to yourself and in your alignment, you'll be able to vibrate at a higher frequency and be able to create some of that stability within your life for yourself and your loved ones. So that was the message for Aquarius. And and now I'm actually going to go ahead and shuffle these back in, and then I'll redistribute, since we're almost halfway through. All right. And then we'll do these as well. And then we'll pick up with Leo. So I hope everyone has been having a good weekend so far, and that you're getting ready to go do something fun for the eclipse. So drop a note below. Are you going to watch it in person? Are you going to watch replays of it? Are you going to be in a place where you'll be able to see it very well? Or are you off the path of totality? So there we go. All right. Here we go. And we will pick up again with Leo now that we've reshuffled the cards here and incorporating them back in, because sometimes then by the time you get to the end of the deck, it's not really as much of a chance for what you're going to get since there's so many cards already pulled. All right, so Leo, what is it that you should be focusing on? What do you need to know when it comes to the eclipse? So that's really funny. This card, I think that was for Taurus that came up as the first card. So we had our Four of Cups, then we have our Eight of Wands in reverse. And then we have our Knight of Swords energy. So Knight of Swords is going to be that opportunity, a little bit of impulsivity. And then we have our Knight of Wands. So we have some Knight energy coming in here for you, Leo. So the Knight of Wands, this is that adventurous, courageous type of energy. And then your Knight of Swords energy is like this opportunity, but there's kind of some impulsiveness, like let's go for it. So some of it, and interestingly, they're facing opposite directions. So it could be that you kind of feel like you have this freedom and this sense of adventure, then you're kind of being pulled one way, kind of being pulled another way, don't really know which way since they're looking in opposite directions. And there's this energy of, let's just go for it. Let's just pick one of the directions. But there is an element of bad timing with it too. So when you're looking at what direction should you go, make sure that you're evaluating what your options are appropriately. You also have this Four of Cups, which is a sense of kind of apathy and gloom. So one of these, don't let this apathy and gloom, kind of this bad timing, put you in an energy of, whatever, let's just go, this didn't work out, so we're going to go 100 miles an hour the other direction. So make sure that you're thinking about it. Let's pull another card. What is coming in for you, Leo? The Five of Wands in reverse, which is resolution and peace. So don't let this Knight of Swords energy push you too quickly to abandon something that you've been trying to work towards finding a peaceful resolution for, because it looks like that peaceful resolution is coming in for you, Leo. Let's pull a couple of moon cards. Hold your vision, and communication is key. So that's new moon in Gemini, communication is key, and hold your vision is fixed moon. So like I was saying, hold on to that vision. Don't get frustrated because of, I'll call it like slowness or bad timing. Don't get so frustrated that you're just like, I'm going 100 miles an hour in that direction. I'm just going to run away from it. So don't let this Knight of Swords energy push you too quickly to abandon something. Hold on to that vision of where you wanted to go, like finding that peaceful resolution, and remember to communicate, and that will help bring in that peaceful resolution. All right, that was for Leo. Next, we are on to Virgo. Temperance. Oh my gosh, that dog looks so fluffy. So Temperance, that is all about finding that balance. That's that Archangel Michael, who's the keeper, protector of the twin flame. So if you're on a twin flame journey, that's a good card for you. Queen of Wands is all about that kind of joy and courage and confident feminine energy. We have the Empress in reverse. And then we have the Hanged Man. So there is this sense of it's this self-imposed like reflection and what's really going on, and it's like you're trying to see things from the other perspective. So, I mean, there's a lot of big energy coming through here for Virgo, because 3 out of the 4 cards were major arcana cards. So you are trying to find this balance. And actually, it's interesting when you look at this card. This is the first time I've looked at it in this type of detail. Look at how the dog is holding the cups. They're on a string in his mouth, and it's pouring from one cup to the other. It's like he's trying to balance the scales, trying to bring in some sense of balance. So with the Hanged Man in reverse, it's like, how can I see this differently? Maybe I need to be looking at things a little bit differently in order to bring in that balance. The Empress in reverse, though, this is that kind of feeling cut off from your inner wisdom. And because the Empress is about that divine feminine energy, and it's that higher consciousness, that inner wisdom, that higher self energy. And if you're trying to find balance, you're looking for that balance between your masculine and your feminine, and it's not coming in as easily as you want it to. But let's take another card for what is coming in for you during the eclipse here. We have our 2 of Swords in reverse. So this is a sense of confusion and indecision. So that's what's coming in. It's just a little bit more confusion. You have all this heightened energy out there, and you don't necessarily know what path to take. So let's pull a couple of Moon Oracle cards and see if there's any other messages here. Take time to breathe out, and emotions are running high. They are running high for sure right now, because there's just so much energy going on. And then this take time to breathe out. So make sure that you're meditating as you're feeling like there's no good choices. There are good choices out there. It's just a matter of how are you seeing it. So remember, your good choice is going to be whatever puts you more in alignment with your inner self, with your higher self. So that's what you really need to focus on, identifying what that is. And sometimes, I mean, that's a hard journey sometimes, but you need to take time to do your meditations, to do your grounding, to connect with your higher self. And so that's going to be really important, especially right now, because there's so much energy and emotions running high. So that was for Virgo. Let's take a look next at Libra. The Hierophant in reverse. So that's going to be breaking out of some of these traditional structures, thinking outside of the box. And the world is about cycles coming through to completion. And then we have our 4 of Swords in reverse. So there's some exhaustion related to that. And then we have our 8 of Pentacles, which is going to be that like laziness and kind of letting go of certain projects, like maybe abandoning certain projects and walking away from it. So, it's like you've been working and plugging away at something for so long, but then there's a sense of just being exhausted by it and just really wanting to move on and kind of let go. And by breaking out of some of these structures, you're going to be able to find that sense of peace and find the world is that victory card. So the world is going to be completion of a cycle. And look at all those. There's all 4 of these other dogs in here. So it's completing a cycle. It's learning that lesson. It's that kind of triumph and victory. And so as you're using this sense of burnout and just exhaustion, let that be what is guiding you to break out of the structure. So if you feel like you're stuck in the structure and that's what's burning you out, use this eclipse as a time to, thank that structure for the role that it played in your life, but then break yourself free from it. So what should you focus on? I'm going to pull this card that's sideways. Justice in reverse. You should focus on bringing things into balance. Because justice in reverse is about there being an imbalance of power. So work on bringing things into balance. It's funny, all of a sudden I look down and still with this 8 of Pentacles card about abandoning projects, it almost looks like, at quick glance over here, like in the clouds. I kind of go like this. It looks like there's a dog's face in the clouds. I don't know. I'm just kind of looked down and saw that. So thought I would share that with you. Let's pull a couple moon cards for you. Your commitment is being tested and a new romantic cycle begins. So for some of you, Libra, since this is new moon in Libra, this is all about finding balance. And just like with the Justice card, Justice in reverse, that there's an imbalance and you have to find what that balance is. So if this is, as it relates to romantic relationships, where is it that you are out of balance with your partner? And this part about your commitment is being tested. It's, and I say this a lot, it's not necessarily just your commitment to your partner is being tested, it's your commitment to yourself. Are you making sure to prioritize yourself, or are you just giving? And sometimes prioritizing yourself, you may need to come up with an option that seems like it's outside of the box. But, you know, if you need to break through some of these molds to find that balance for what works for you and your partner, then maybe that's what you're being called to do. All right, so Scorpio, and then we will reshuffle. So Scorpio, we have our 10 of Swords. Oops. We have our 2 of Pentacles in reverse. Take a look at what fell here. We also have King of Pentacles and Page of Wands. So those 2 fell. And then I'll take a look at that and then we'll pull another one here. So your Page of Wands is this like happy, excited, optimistic energy. And then your King of Pentacles is going to be this sense of reliability. But those were coming, I guess I'll consider those bottom of the deck since they were jumping out, that that's what wants to come in for you. But where you're sitting right now is just absolutely exhausted. So thankfully in this deck, in the normal, like in the Rider-Waite decks, the 10 of Swords, it's a man that's laying there with all these swords in his back. So thank you, artist, for not putting 10 swords in the dog's back. And then this 2 of Pentacles in reverse, it's like you're juggling these priorities and there's just not a good option. It's like you're unorganized, there's too many balls in the air, and you're just exhausted with dealing with it. So what is coming in for you then, Scorpio, is your King of Swords. And your King of Swords is going to be this authority and kind of discipline and, you know, this is what we need to do. So you're kind of done with this, oh, I'm exhausted, I don't know what to do. And then what should you be focusing on is going to be Page of Pentacles in reverse, which is laziness. So if you've been feeling exhausted because of the fact that you just feel totally defeated, that's what you need to work on, is muster up a little bit more energy to push through to get to the other side here. And let's pull a couple of moon cards for you. Bring love into the equation and surrender to the divine. So don't necessarily try to work on doing all of it yourself. Call on your guides, call on your higher self, call on God, Spirit, the archangels to help you, and surrender and allow what is supposed to come in to actually come in, and bring love into the situation. So it's easy sometimes when you feel totally burned out and lazy, you know, it's easy to just be like, I don't have anything left to give. But make sure that you're pouring that love into yourself first, because that's going to be what'll help energize you to move through some of these energies. So that was for Scorpio. And now we'll shuffle and finish up the last of them. So that was for Scorpio. We will jump in here with Sagittarius in a moment. Okay. And I think that'll get us around for the last 3. Okay. So hopefully everybody is doing well after kind of a crazy few days in terms of weather and things like that. It's been really rainy by me. I know there was those earthquakes over on the East Coast, so hopefully everyone is doing well. Right, this deck is new, so they don't shuffle quite as well. All right, here we go. Like I said, we will start with Sagittarius and see what wants to come through for you. Sagittarius. We have got our King of Wands. So our King of Wands, remember, that's that kind of loyal leader type of energy. We have the Devil. Oh, there. It was glary, so you can really see it very well. Then we have our Queen of Wands. So King and Queen of Wands. And remember, Wands is about spirit. So having both of those cards is good. Then we have Ace of Wands. So some new starts, some excitement and new beginnings. And then we have our Three of Cups in reverse. So Three of Cups in reverse is going to be a little bit of that sense of loneliness, but it's like you're balancing out your King and Queen of Wands energy. So it's like this joyful, courageous, like leadership type of energy, but you still have this Devil energy that's pulling you, it's trying to pull you off path. So this can sometimes mean that internally you've balanced your masculine and feminine energy. And so because you have, there's this new exciting beginning coming in, but what's trying to pull you off course right now is this Devil energy where it's leaving you feeling kind of lonely and, like you're cut off, but there is this new beginning that's coming through for you. So, what is it that you need to focus on then? Would be, you have your Six of Cups, which is that comfort and nostalgia and kind of like your traditions. So allow yourself to sit in that comfortable, nostalgic energy, because that's usually, that has a positive feel to it. So rather than sitting there, if you feel lonely, if you feel like reclusive, like, oh, I'm not in a happy partnership like I would like to be, let yourself sit there and think about what is it that you really want. So whatever brings you comfort, like the nostalgia, the comfortable part of it, make sure that you're looking for that as you start your new beginnings that are coming through. All right. And also, don't let that Devil energy convince you that you are alone, because you really are interconnected and you have more help and connections and energetic ties than you might realize. All right, so your moon cards are balance, spirituality, and practicality. You're very close to achieving your goal. And once you can do that, I think once you can find that balance, I think you will get to your goal, because look at those colors. I mean, it's the exact same color palette. So that is really what you're being pushed to balance, is your spirituality and your practicality. So you can't be too much 5D to where you're like, ugh, 3D, whatever. That's so beneath me, because that's spiritual ego and that's spiritual arrogance. But then you also can't be so 3D where you have turned your back on spirit. So you have to find the way. How do you marry the two of them together? How do you find that good balance? So that, Sagittarius, is what you're being called to do during eclipse time this year, or tomorrow, I guess. So next we are on to Capricorn. So Capricorn, for you, we have our Five of Cups. We've got our Seven of Pentacles in reverse. We've got the Moon in reverse. So let's do with our repressed emotions. And then we have our Three of Pentacles. So there's a little bit of a sense of loss here. So this dog, when you're looking at it, they're focusing on the Three Cups that are knocked over, as opposed to focusing on the two that are still standing. So there's a sense of grief and sadness that's coming through for you, Capricorn. And then with our Seven of Pentacles in reverse, it's like you're abandoning certain projects and you're feeling unloved. And so that's what's creating that sense of loss is, I really thought, and it could be that a relationship either is falling apart or it's just turning out to be different than what you thought it was going to be. So it's leaving you kind of feeling unloved and feeling the sense of loss that goes with it. And there's also this sense of repressed emotions. And so the Moon in reverse is about what are those repressed emotions. And you do have your Three of Pentacles, though. So this is going to be the I guess kind of the silver lining there is some sense of collaboration and teamwork. If you are in a twin flame relationship, this a lot of times is seen as the merger of divine masculine, feminine, and spirit all coming together for your mission. But let's see, what is it that you should be focusing on, Capricorn? King of Swords. And so you should be focusing on kind of this discipline and this rationality, like not letting yourself get pulled too far into like grief or sadness. And then what changes are coming up for you? We have our Knight of Pentacles in reverse. So there's going to be a change to some of this dull or lazy energy. So if you're wallowing in feeling the loss, it can be keeping you from moving forward in a more positive direction. So that's the change that's coming in for you, is moving past that. And when I say laziness, it's almost kind of like if you're too far into your sorrow or your sense of loss like that, I just want to curl up and ball under the covers all day. So it's like there's going to be an end to that energy coming through. All right, so a couple of moon cards here for you. Take time to breathe out, and the answers you need are coming. So actually, we didn't do this for any of the other ones, but let's pull a timing card here for Capricorn and see when it looks like that energy is changing, like getting out of that loss mindset, that loss energy. Once you can forgive them. So once you can forgive whoever or whatever in your life has been directly related to this situation of feeling the loss, once you can forgive them, that's when the tides will change. But make sure that you take time to breathe out and think about your own personal care, your own self-love, and then the answers, like know that the answers that you need are coming. You just have to have the patience to be able to see that. So that was Capricorn. And then last but not least, we have Pisces. And then I'll pull some cards for the energy for the collective in general. All right, so we have Three of Wands in reverse. We have Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Let's see, let's put this one. 10 of Wands. And then we have our Six of Swords in reverse. So there is this energy for you, Pisces, of kind of like clinging to the past, and there's some stagnancy and some obstacles and frustrations because of what's happened in the past. And then when we have our Six of Swords in reverse, is you're feeling stuck in a rut and you're resisting this positive change because of the fact that you're clinging to the past and you're just exhausted. The Ace of Pentacles in reverse, this is about having like some missed opportunities or failed investments, and that's not necessarily just money investments, failed investments in terms of your time and your energy and that sense of, but I've given so much. And I think that's kind of the key here, is that you've invested so much in a certain situation. And if this is a romantic situation, you're clinging to the past and you're getting stuck in this rut because there's that sense of, but I have given so much that if I cut bait now, I've just lost all of that. And so it's leaving you feeling exhausted because rather than going in a different direction, you feel like I've already sunk so much into this, I have to see it through. So that kind of creates a bad cycle where you're stuck in an unfulfilling situation because you think, well, if I wait just a little bit longer, if I try just a little bit harder, it'll get better. And that's not necessarily the case. So what should you focus on, Pisces? And this is Five of Pentacles. So focus on, and this might sound weird, so focus on where you are unfulfilled. So the Five of Pentacles is this struggle, it's this hardship, it's feeling locked out of your blessings. So rather than looking at, okay, how can I just keep putting more effort into it? Remember how much effort you've put in and remember how it hasn't worked out, to kind of give you a sense of clarity. And then what changes are coming for you? Page of Cups. There's going to be some new offer. It'll be a small offer. A Page of Cups is not a huge offer. In the Rider-Waite deck, this is a the page is holding a single fish in a cup. And I sort of view it as, this is like a little boy picks a dandelion and goes and takes it to a girl. It's a small offer. It's not overwhelming, but it is the beginning of something. It is the step in the right direction. So this is about letting go of the past. Don't think that continuing to sink more effort into it is going to justify staying longer. Like, that's part of your lessons, is knowing when to cut bait. All right, a couple here. We have step out of your comfort zone and expect powerful change. So step out of your comfort zone. North Node, this is about being unapologetically you. So North Node is in Aries right now through early 2025, like January 2025. And that is about stepping into your power and being unapologetically you, standing in your truth. And then expect powerful change, new moon eclipse. So expect there to be some changes once you can step out of your comfort zone and say, you know what, I'm done with being exhausted. I'm done with that energy. I want something new. I want to be able to move past this feeling of hardship all the time. I want something new. So, and let's pull a timing card. When does it look like that's happening for Pisces? When is this powerful change going to be coming through? Summer. So soon. Very, very soon. So that's the message we have for Pisces. I'm going to pull some cards here for the collective in general, and then we will wrap things up. So we'll use a different deck for that. All right, so these are the cards we'll use for the collective in general. Pull from the housewife deck. So what are the overall messages for everyone to know about the eclipse tomorrow? We have our King of Wands in reverse, which is a little bit of that impulsive. We have our Knight of Wands, we have the Hermit in reverse, and we have the Nine of Wands. So overall energy for the whole collective, we have our King of Wands and our Knight of Wands in reverse. So the Knight of Wands is that happy, excited energy, but the King of Wands is a little bit of that impulsive energy. So with all of this energy that's out there, there is some of that impulsivity, like, this is this huge, massive change. Maybe I need to make huge, massive changes. Then we have our Nine of Wands, which is kind of making a stand. And then the Hermit in reverse this is really a lot of self-reflection, but this is almost like taking it to the next level where you're really, really isolating yourself. So there's kind of this hodgepodge of energy going on. So let's pull a couple cards as it relates to relationships. What are some of the messages for the collective in general as it relates to relationships? We have our Four of Wands in reverse, Four of Cups, and Knight of Swords. So expect that with the eclipse, it could be bringing in some pretty, I'll call it lackluster energy, because your Four of Wands in reverse. And remember, Four of Wands can be a twin flame card for a lot of people, but this is about having some instability on the home front and then a sense of gloom. So I did do a twin flame reading yesterday, and the Four of Cups, I think, came up for both. I know it came up for the divine feminine as the challenge space was the Four of Cups energy. But in that deck, there was more of a sense of meditation and embracing the situation, as opposed to having that sense of gloom. In this deck, it's almost like there's a little bit of fearfulness, like she's shying away from the one cup that's full, that's being offered. So there's a little bit of that sense of, well, what do I do? And then this Knight of Swords energy is kind of this like, okay, let's just go for it. Let's go for it. Let's make a change. So, kind of balance that. Don't let your energy get too high or too low. Remember, it's just one day. So there's going to be some energy of, I want to make a change. Like, I don't want to be in this stagnant place anymore. So you have that going on. relationship wise, and then let's look at kind of life path and mission. Pull a couple cards there for the whole collective. Like, what is this eclipse going to do in terms of different energy for your life path? The Lovers in reverse, Seven of Swords, and the Hierophant in reverse. So your Seven of Swords energy is a little bit of like this kind of lies and deception. So make sure that your life path is being seen clearly, and that you're not relying on somebody else who could maybe be feeding you a line. The Lovers in reverse is it's about having imbalances, and it's also about decisions that need to be made. So if you're making a decision about, do I want to go this way with my life path or this way, make sure that you are seeing any other involved parties clearly. So if it's you and a group of friends coming together for something, make sure everything is on the up and up, because you might be doing something that's a little bit different, a little bit outside of the box type of thinking, and you want to make sure that everybody's on the same page as that, so that there's no imbalance of power or inequalities as you're moving into that sort of situation from a life path. All right, let's pull a couple of oracle cards and then we'll wrap it. So Moonlight Goddess, Purification by Fire, and Amethyst. So Moonlight Goddess is repressed emotions, healing, and reflection. Purification is bare essentials, the naked truth, and wholeness. And then we have Amethyst, which is transformation, certainty, and confidence. So there's going to be some changes that are coming up, whether they're small changes for you, big changes for you. And it's like stripping down the things that are no longer serving you. So the Purification by Fire, that's like burn away everything that you don't need so that you can rise up from the ashes again with only what it is that you need that's serving you in a positive way. And so some of it is this repressed emotions, whatever you're trying to push down and hope that it's not becoming an issue, make sure you don't do that, because the lies and deceit part could be, what are the lies that you're telling yourself as you start to go down a new path? Like, if you don't want to go down that path, don't go down that path. But don't kid yourself into thinking, yeah, that's fine. I could be happy doing this. So really make sure that you're being intentional with what you're telling yourself. And then Amethyst with transformation, certainty, and confidence. So putting your faith in spirit, in the divine, so that you can move forwards and transform your life in a positive way that's in alignment with you, so that you can bring yourself more into spiritual alignment. And let's pull a couple cards out of here. Thank you for the lesson, and sit in the stillness, and a new path will emerge. So this is, with that transformation. So sitting in that stillness and being able to see what is the path that's trying to emerge for you. And if there are tough things, like this one kind of goes with this Hermit in reverse, where it's like the deep periods of self-reflection, make sure you're thanking the universe for the lesson. It's easy to say thank you when there's all these blessings that are pouring in. It's harder when it's a challenge, when you're struggling, but make sure that you are being grateful for the lessons that are coming up, because those are what's helping you to grow. So I hope that you found today's message to be helpful, and that gives you a little bit of guidance as we get into tomorrow's eclipse. And I wish you peace and joy, and enjoy this fun new energy for tomorrow. Until next time.